So, this is Azure API Management here. And I've got a bunch of APIs that I've created, but I've got one here I've created called Azure OpenAI. And I've created an operation here called chat, which takes an HTTP post. And what I've done is I've configured my Azure OpenAI service as the back end to API management, to my API. And if we take a look at the policies in here, and so I can edit these directly here using the using the UI, but I'm actually going to go into the code view here and just show you what this looks like. So the first thing I'm doing is changing the URI to go and talk to the model that I've created in Azure OpenAI, which is the completions endpoint, so I can chat with the service. I'm actually doing rate limiting here. So what I'm doing is I am preventing the client from consuming more than 100 tokens per minute. And I'm doing that based on the subscription ID of the caller. So different clients calling this API will have their own rate limit count, but we're preventing more than 100 a minute. And this is really important because it allows you to use those tokens in a really efficient way and to prioritize the clients that are really important to you. The other thing I'm doing here is I'm omitting the number of tokens consumed. So that is really useful because that will tell me how many tokens are being consumed. And I'm actually using the API ID as the dimension here, but there are other dimensions that we can choose there too. And finally, and this is a really important point here, is I'm actually using managed identity to authorize into Azure OpenAI. So the client that's calling APIM, it has no access to Azure OpenAI at all. And all I've done is I've gone into the Azure OpenAI service, I've gone to role-based access control, and I've added my API management managed identity as a user of the OpenAI service. So I think that is probably the one single thing that I would say is really important here is abstracting the Azure OpenAI service from your clients. And if I just go and test this, then hopefully it will work. And if I send a request, we've got a 200 back. And the capital of France is Paris. No surprise there. And we can see here that we've got these the tokens coming back, and it's these tokens that are going to be emitted to the metrics using the emit token policy. And if I call this again, and we get a response, and again, I don't know how many tokens actually I'm consuming here. There we go. So we finally got a 49. So that's the rate limiting policy coming into effect there. And so I need to try again in 34 seconds when that counter will renew.